find It, Clown Town, Clown. They're all horror movies. We clowns have a bad rep, right? But I'm here to change that. So, I've got here the 12 things you need to make your TED Talk shine. Okay? This is going to be the best TED Talk there has ever been in the history of TED Talks. Strap in. So, let's look at the list. We've got surprise your audience. Check. Do lots of hand gestures. Check. Personal story. Once upon a time, when I was 16 years old, I had a big dream. I dreamt that I was going to be a movie star. And I would get to be in a film alongside Will Smith. And I didn't know how this would happen. After all, I grew up on a desert island. It's called Curacao. One day, my parents burst into my room and they say, "Pack up your flippy floppies. We are moving to London." London. London. The city of Harry Potter. The city of the Queen. The city where there were world-renowned drama schools. This was it. This was my chance. I was gonna go to a world-renowned drama school, I was gonna land an agent, and by that time, Will Smith would have already heard about me, so he'd be trying to contact me. We'd go on to make a film, and I'd win the Oscar. First Latina to win the Oscars. So I arrived in London, and I tried out for drama school. There was only one problem. None of them would take me. I tried year after year. I couldn't get in. So I decided to leave that rejection aside for a while because it was a bit much. And I decided to go on an academic pursuit. And I ended up at SOAS, University of London. I decided to study history of art. And if we think of history as the study of past events, history of art was the study of expression of those events. It was at SOAS that I realized that through art in history, we were seeing an expression of emotion through time. Humans' biggest communication. I was so inspired. I loved my course, and I worked really hard. But I failed my first year. It didn't matter how hard I worked, I wasn't getting the right results. And it turned out I had a whole bunch of undiagnosed learning difficulties. A big list, in fact. So I started working really hard and I got my degree. I finished, but I thought maybe academia isn't for me. I still had, though, this burning passion to be able to be a part of that big communication that I had just learned all about. I still wanted to share with the world. So I ended up at physical theater school. No audition process. Aha! I got in. So, for those of you who don't know what physical theater is, it's basically theater that focuses the body as the main source of communication instead of the voice. So a good physical theater performance you'd be able to see it in any country in the world, and you'd be able to understand what it is. Limitless possibilities. So here I was going to get my chance. I was going to study physical theater. I was going to travel the world with Cirque du Soleil. I was going to wear multicolored lycra. It was going to be amazing. But in my first year, I couldn't get all the movements right. Oh. Turned out, I went back, had a look at that learning differences folder, learning difficulties, dyspraxia, okay? So dyspraxia, some of the symptoms include poor eye-hand coordination, poor posture, propensity to bump into people and to things. Didn't seem like it was going to work out. So I tried academia. No good. It was a physical theater school. There was no audition. I got in. No good. Where was my place in the order of things? See, in that small piece, this small clown piece, I am able to express without words that exact feeling. The feeling of the world turning towards you and then turning away. Maybe some of you are familiar with this feeling. See, it wasn't until my final year of physical theater school, the final part, when I was presented with this. It's the world's smallest mask. I put it on. I came out into a room much like this. And suddenly, all of those delayed movements, those imperfections, that ability to access extreme emotion, pure emotion, it all made sense. I discovered that my failures could be celebrated as successes. My favorite clown teacher, Jonathan Young, he says, "A clown is an alchemist. He is able to turn on a cellular level his shit into gold." This is very powerful. I realized that to try, to fail, to feel, to share, and to experience pleasure in it all has a purpose. See, when I tell people I'm a clown, as you can imagine, the first thing that people think about is a circus clown, right? The circus clown has a very important role. When we go to the circus, we are witnessing trapeze artists flying through the air, defying death, and we as an audience, our hearts are in our throats. And then the circus clown comes out, and he plays with us. He makes us laugh. He allows us to release that emotion. And I'm sure you're all very familiar, and maybe some of you were the class clown in school. Raise your hand if you're the class clown in school. Thank you, because you break us away from the pressure of academic achievement. You had a purpose too. And you know, there are clowns that you probably don't even realize are clowns. Mr. Bean, one of the best Great British clowns. Mr. Bean tries many times and he always fails, but he is happy. We have Charlie Chaplin as well, said nothing in silent films, yet many people watch his films. And when he did speak, he said very important things. And then we have another modern clown, which you will probably know, bit of a controversial character, Sacha Baron Cohen. Yeah? He pushes people to the limits. He brings something from another world into this world. So, as another great clown, Patch Adams, I don't know if you're familiar, there was a great film with Robin Williams where he played Patch Adams. Patch Adams is a real person. Patch Adams says, "The role of the clown and the physician are the same. It's to elevate the possible and to relieve suffering." And Patch Adams left an amazing legacy. There are clowns all around the world going into hospitals and making worlds inside of scary places for children. There are clowns traveling to conflict areas with Clowns Without Borders. And they're also creating these performances to allow joy in people's lives where they need it most. There is even a clandestine clown army who use clown as a playful and peaceful protest. Now, in this world of today, there is a lot of uncertainty and fear. And the clowns come to save us. They come to remind us to be present, to be vulnerable, to feel, and yes, it is scary. It is really scary. To share with others, to play, and to try and try and try again. Because there is beauty in the ridiculous. Thank you.